Introducing a brand new segment that we're going to run throughout the NFL playoffs for these 15 minutes. YSD, Yahoo Sports Debate. And in order to debate this, we have brought in a couple of experts. All right, so we have Scott Kaplan, a.k.a. Cap, host of Sedano and Cap, the morning show on ESPN LA, out early in the morning. And then Julian Council, longtime friend of mine, host Locked On Panthers, also a Charlotte native and sports radio vet, much like Cap. So we are setting this up, Caroline, for a debate for the ages.
Enough being nice. No more of that. This is not Yahoo Sports Daily. This is not Yahoo Sports Nice. This is Yahoo Sports Debate. So enough of the pleasantries. Like we said, these two are going to be debating each side of this Rams-Panthers playoff matchup. Each of these guys cover these respective teams. They know these teams in and out. So without further ado, let's get into it. Cap, we will start with you with our very first debate question. And then we'll follow with Julian. So first question is, which fan base deserves this win more?
Which fan base between the Rams and the Panthers deserve this win more? Are you serious? Really? I mean, come on. Carolina hasn't had a fan base, and they haven't had a team. They haven't had a coach. They haven't had a quarterback. I give them all the credit in the world. They are a much better team, and they are on the come up. There is no doubt about it. Carolina is on the rise. But what happened a few weeks ago when the Rams showed up in Carolina and somehow lost that game to an inferior opponent, this Rams fan base, which is starved for a Super Bowl. You know how long it's been since the Rams have won a Super Bowl? It's been like 4 years. So, and by the way, when the Rams won the Super Bowl 4 years ago, the fan base in LA was like, what happened? What happened? Yeah, we just won a Super Bowl in our stadium. And so you know what? Now that the fan base has expanded and the Rams have taken over Southern California as their own, this Rams fan base has this quarterback, loves this coach, has fallen in love with this franchise. The Rams fan base deserves this win.
That is insane, Cappy. It's insane that you would even say something like that. The Rams fans deserve this more than Panther fans who've toiled through 8 years of David Tepper being one of the worst owners in American sports. The same David Tepper that poured a drink on a Jags fan. That's the guy they've depended on to make the right decisions when it comes to head coach, to general manager, to quarterback. Panther fans deserve this moment. It's been 8 years since they've been in the playoffs, 10 years since they've had an opportunity to have a home game and to be loud and proud inside Bank of America Stadium. And like Rams fans, who are the Rams fans? Aren't they all still in St. Louis now cheering for the Battlehawks of the UFL? In Southern California, the real football fans are USC fans. Like Rams fans to me have to just be guys who have a C-suite exec job, some random dude at LA Live who got free tickets, or just the most unloyal dude you know, considering the Rams pretty transient. Like, they don't really like to stay in one place for too long. So absolutely not. Rams fans just got the opportunity to have that win. Panther fans, they're ready for a Super Bowl for the first time in 31 years.
Let me tell you something. The Rams fans, you have the wrong perception of who Rams fans are. But that's the way America thinks about Los Angeles. You got it all wrong. I'm here to tell you right now, and you go to any NFL stadium around the country and you see other fan bases showing up. Yeah, it happens here in LA, but if you talk about bad ownership, see, the reason I know about bad ownership is because the Rams have probably one of the greatest owners in all of sports in Stan Kroenke, who built the greatest stadium on the planet, which is what brought NFL football back to Los Angeles. And the way I know about bad ownership is because great ownership
thank
is
God
over
for Stan Kroenke.
Yeah, hey, right. Stan Kroenke is here. This is great ownership. And let me tell you what worse ownership is. It's called Dean Spanos of the San Diego Chargers of Costa Mesa, who want to be in Los Angeles. So believe me when I tell you, I know what bad ownership looks like because I see great ownership in Kroenke and horrible ownership out of Dean Spanos.
All right,
As somebody that is from...
I'm going to hop in. I'm going to get another question in, okay? All right, Julian, you get to go first on this one. All right? Now, the Rams have the better record, but the Panthers are hosting the game since they're a division winner. Which team actually deserves to have the home game, Julian?
The team that won its division. Are we talking about playoff expansion? Are we talking about changing the format? Is this college football now? We're complaining about, we got to get the best teams in. Sorry, the Panthers won their division. It's not the Panthers' fault that they play in a division where Atlanta went 8-9 and they're bad, and that the Bucs are bad as well. That's the rules. We knew it back when the season began. If you win your division, have the best record, or at least have the right wins in a three-way tiebreaker, you're going to host a home game. And here you are. Carolina's got their home game. And again, it's been a decade since they've had a home game. Cam Newton, he's coming back to bang the key pounding drum. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. I don't want to hear anything about, they're an 8-9 team that shouldn't be here, especially when it comes to playing this Rams team, who they already beat back in week 13. Everyone's telling me about how Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer. He's going to be the MVP, and he had 3 turnovers that day. So I don't want to hear it. Panthers absolutely deserve to be hosting a home game. If the Rams wanted to host one, maybe they shouldn't have lost to Carolina. Maybe they shouldn't have blown a 16-point lead to Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. Maybe they should have actually got their act together and not lost to the Falcons on Monday night. And then they could host a playoff game. But instead, they did all those things, and now they're coming across country again, back home to Carolina.
You know, you're not wrong. The Panthers do deserve this home game because of what they did to the Rams that week 13. Because remember, going into that game, Matthew Stafford had thrown 28 straight touchdown passes without an interception. It had been 10 weeks. And when Stafford threw that interception, just remember, he threw the first one while the Rams were about to score a touchdown. The ball hit off a defensive lineman, popped up, was intercepted in the end zone. The second one, later on in the first half, was taken back for a pick 6. And there was a third turnover, which was a fumble, a strip sack late in the game, which wrapped it up for Carolina. So Carolina earned the right, even though their record isn't as good, they earned the right to host this game. But here's the beauty of why the Rams want to go back to Carolina. Because let me tell everybody here, the redemption tour starts in Carolina. And once the Rams go to Carolina, beat up on the Panthers, like I'm sure they will, that's why they're a 10-point favorite. Once they get done dispatching the Carolina Panthers, you know what they do from there? They go to Seattle and they go win that game and they avenge that loss, because you'll never see another NFL game where there are 3 2-point conversions, 100% for 2-point conversions in the same game. So they'll get done with Carolina. They'll go beat Seattle. And then you know what the Rams are finally going to do? They're going to go to Philadelphia, probably play in the snow, someplace they couldn't win earlier this season. They couldn't win last year in the playoffs. They'll finish off the Eagles, and then the Rams will go win the Super Bowl in their rivals' home stadium up in Santa Clara. So, yeah, the Panthers deserve the home game, but the Rams will start the redemption tour this weekend.
That actually would be pretty legendary if they do that. But that's not happening. It's ending again.
Nobody's buying Carolina. What I'm selling here. I'm trying to sell this, man.
I'm not buying it. Not buying it.
I do like the way I do like the way you started by agreeing. You're like, oh yeah, no, I agree with you. Come in for the hug. Now I will destroy it. I do like the debate approach, Caroline. I like that.
I do like the idea too of the Rams winning a Super Bowl at Levi Stadium. That is the ultimate come in your trap and take over your trap. Win the Super Bowl in your stadium, essentially just peeing all over their own territory. But let's get into the next question. Cap, we will start with you, followed with Julian. So win total over unders. Both of these teams exceeded. Panthers were set at 6.5. Rams were set at 9.5. But if you cashed in on the over, good for you. Which fan base, Cap, we'll start with you, is happier with how the regular season turned out?
I would say it's the Panthers, because the Panthers' expectations were so low. I mean, the Panthers' expectations were 6 games, and they got to 8 wins. And even though they're a sub-500 team, I would say that the Carolina Panthers fans are happier with with going over what their prediction was. Here's why. Because the Rams fans had an expectation of not 9 wins or 10. The Rams fans had an expectation of 13 wins or 14 wins. And let me tell you something. The Rams were on track to have that kind of a season. It's true. They went to Carolina. They had a letdown in that game. Then they lost that game in Seattle that we talked about just a few moments ago. And when they lost that game in Seattle, they had a lot of time to go from Seattle, which was a Thursday night, until they finally got to Atlanta, which was a Monday night. And that turned into a disaster, frankly. So the Rams fans probably thought more about 13-4, 14-3, maybe even 15-2 at one point during this season. And obviously, only having 12 wins turned into a letdown. But when your expectations are so low, like the Panthers fans are, getting to 8 wins is a huge win.
What a shot. Captain, you're a good guy, man. No, you're not wrong necessarily. Like, you're a good guy for telling the truth there. absolutely, the Panthers fans are the ones who are happier to be in this spot because I asked a lot of them before the season, what is your expectations? I just want to know when you're freaking out on Sundays about this team losing to teams that are better than them, like they did against Seattle. I just want to know what your expectations going into the season were. And a lot of people are saying 7-10, 8-9. And what do you know? Bingo right there. Even had a couple people saying, I expect to win the division. And to those people, here you are. You got your division title. So absolutely, Panther fans are the ones that are happier to be in this spot when over the last couple of years, you go from 2-15 at a 5-12 last year, and it was certainly a tumultuous season as Bryce Young was benched after 2 games. Then he came back. You had hope again. There has not been much hope over the last couple of years. They've tried to place their hope in people like Baker Mayfield. It didn't work out. Sam Darnold did not work out. PJ Walker for a little bit. Teddy Bridgewater. Now they finally have hope. And am I telling you to put all your hope in Bryce Young? Not necessarily. I'm telling you to put your hope in what they're building with Dave Canales and Dan Morgan as a brain trust here in Carolina now. So absolutely, yes, Panther fans are happy to be in this spot, and Rams fans are pretty upset that their team soiled their britches down the stretch.
All right, so then I'm watching you
soiled
guys
their
play.
britches.
Yeah,
want to make sure
soiled
their britches.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to
Soiled
make sure
their
I
britches,
understood that. Believe me, I'm well in touch with that emotion. Go ahead.
Soil their britches, by the way. That's a step up from where we just were with some of the language from the last guest. So we'll take soil their britches. All right, let's go with this then. Let's see if Julian will play as nice as Cap is playing so far. You guys have both referenced the last time these two teams met. All right, so yes or no, was the last meeting between these two teams a fluke, Julian Council?
Well, I can't call it a fluke because Panthers still won this game without J.C. Horn, who is a Pro Bowl corner, and Javon Merrick, who they signed free agency from your Raiders, Fitzy, who is one of their leaders on the defensive end of the ball. And here's the thing. Carolina was able to move the ball constantly. They had multiple times on 4th downs where they, instead of just trying to get that 2-3 yards, went for it all down the sideline to Jalen Coker, went for it all down the sideline to Tyrone McMillan. And that Rams secondary that has been leaky all year had a tough time stopping him. And it wasn't just a passing game. It was Chuba Hubbard. It was Rico Dowdle also on the ground. And while I understand that turnovers oftentimes can be luck, fine. You want to take out the Mike Jackson pick 6? I don't think it's much luck when Derek Brown is timing up and being able to get his big mitt on that ball. Then it's tip drill picked up by Nick Scott. And then when Derek Brown's also winning in leverage on the inside and be able to beat his man and then strip sack Matthew Stafford, that's also, to me, not a fluke. So, yeah, Carolina went out there and took it. Did the Rams play their best game? No, but any given Sunday. And on that Sunday, the Rams got their ass kicked.
I don't know if I'd call it an ass kicking because, as I recall, there was Blake Corum and Kyron Williams who were steamrolling through that Carolina defense. And really, when you look back and you think about this game, yes, that first interception, you got to remember the Rams were going in to score a touchdown. That was a big turn in that game because when Stafford threw the ball, you say that it was a tip drill. I would say that Stafford threw the ball and hit the defensive lineman right in the head, and it popped up in the air, and then it was picked off in the end zone. So if the Rams go in and score that touchdown right there, we're talking about a completely different game. Stafford had an uncharacteristically bad throw, which did turn into a pick 6, and it is true that the Rams have had some offensive line issues in terms of health, especially at the tackle positions, that may have led to that strip sack. But I would say this. For Carolina, that day, everything went right. They got 2 picks off Stafford. They created the fumble. They did run the ball effectively. There's no doubt. And here's what else Carolina did. They picked up 2 critical 4th downs. In fact, they were 4 for 4 on 4th down that day. Let me tell you something right now. That is a statistical anomaly. You do not see a team go 4 for 4 on 4th down. You won't see that again this week. The Rams coaching staff will clean up that offensive line. They know how effective they were with the running game. They will pound the ball all day long. And you saw Puka Nacua make some spectacular catches in that game. And there's so much more to talk about with Devontae Adams scoring touchdowns in the red zone. And there were other guys that day, like Xavier Smith from the Rams wide receiving core, who had a big day. The Rams gave that game to the Carolina Panthers, and credit to the Panthers. They took it, but the Rams will clean it up. The Rams will win this game, and they'll not only win it, they'll more than cover the 10-point spread.
Wow. I will say the Panthers do have the most 4th down conversions in the league this season, so maybe not as fluky as you may believe. But I see where you're going from.
All right, Caroline,
I'm loving this.
Caroline is going to pick a winner here. We are going to decide who wins the coveted first debate. By the way, you're both getting Yahoo Sports Daily mugs because we're going to send you those. And I got like a
one of
gift card
those.
that has like $2 left at Taco Bell, so I'll throw that into the winner. The winner gets an extra $2 at Taco Bell. I'm no expense being spared. Caroline, you get to call it.
Remember,
Gentlemen,
Caroline, you
fabulous
live in
debating.
Charlotte now.
Julian may or may not know where I live, so I'm going to approach this with a little bit of caution.
Caroline, you
I
want to be
know
a
that-
star? You got to go to L.A. Caroline, if you want to be a star, you got to go to L.A. Girl.
Cap, I do appreciate your very bless your heart-esque type of debating of, oh, Carolina had such low expectations. Good for them. Bless their sweet little hearts. Cap, what you don't know is that I am born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. So I know that we want objective judging here on this program.
No.
That is not what we
Yep.
do here. No. When I heard Stan Kroenke, best owner in the NFL, that was just salt in a decade-long wound that I have been licking since the Rams left my hometown. So, Julian, not only because he hit me where it hurt with that one, you win because you are 1,000% correct. The Panthers deserve home field advantage. The Panthers fans deserve this after years and years of just drudging through the depths of the NFL. Panthers deserve to be right here. So, Julian, you win the more important side of this matchup. The game doesn't really matter. This is what matters. And, Julian, my friend, you win it.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Julian. Congratulations,
You guys.
Thank you. God bless you, Caroline.
Julian, congratulations. You won the debate according to the judge and the jury. But unfortunately, on Saturday afternoon, when we get done with the game, I'll be celebrating a Rams victory.
We'll see.
That is.
I was waiting for you to
Man,
say you're going to be
one
the
more
executioner.
jab.
Check the workout. Locked On Panthers and WCNC is where you can check out Julian Council, of course, and then 710 ESPN and the Kaplan and Coop podcast is where you can enjoy Cap's work. Gentlemen, we appreciate both of y'all bringing the heat. It's going to be hard for anybody to match what you just brought. Appreciate you both so much. Thanks for hanging out with us. Mugs to come, and Julian, let me know how that $250 on that gift card to Taco Bell works for you. I think it's still. I don't think it's expired. We appreciate you, boys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for
guys.
having me.